Joining me now, Trump campaign economic advisor Steve Moore. Steve, an extraordinary speech today in which the president, in 14 minutes, laid out his values, his policies, and the direction of this country on just nearly every issue imaginable.
I think, Lou, the people in this town are suffering from cardiac arrest right now because of the size of the changes that he is talking about. I mean, we were talking off camera a little bit about how these are seismic changes, and this is a big, huge elephant in this town. Can you turn that elephant around and make it go in a different direction? I believe if he can pull this off, he will go down historically as one of the great presidents of American history, if he can pull it off. But these are very difficult changes, and I tell you, sometimes Washington eats people like that and spits them out.
I think that this town has more than met its match in Donald Trump. President Trump today said as clearly as can be said that the American people are now holding primacy in policy and in government in every respect. And I don't doubt him for an instant. He is, and I believe that that is the reason that so many people supported him and that he is the president of the United States.
One of my favorite lines in the speech was when he talked about the forgotten man and woman.
Right.
Because those are the people who voted for Donald Trump. You know, I traveled with him and I did a lot of events for him around the country. And, you know, if you go to Washington, D.C., and you go to Silicon Valley, you go to Wall Street, people say, what are people complaining about? Everything's so wonderful. It's when you go to these little towns in Pennsylvania and Michigan and Ohio and Wisconsin and Illinois, people aren't feeling the love because there has been no recovery in those areas. But people here don't understand it because people here are getting rich.
You're a man of numbers.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the middle class that has shrunk by more than 10% over the course of the last 40 years. We are looking at a middle class, the net worth of which in constant dollars has diminished over the last 20.
I think the reason that Donald Trump won this election was for 15 years, under 8 years of Bush, and 7.5 years, we got the data through 7.5 years of Obama. Real wages and real middle income of the median family in America has fallen. That is to say, they're poorer now than they were 15 years ago. And that's the cause of the anger.
But
that's
it's not a statistic. I mean, it is not a statistic. It is a fact of American life that we haven't felt since the Great Depression.
Right.
And
except this town is in denial. That's my point.
The hell with this town. I mean, really, the hell with this town. I proudly wear my credentials here because I want it to be understood by all. I am not a visitor in this town. This swamp, I don't want to be a part of.
I'm with you on that. Now, look,
but Donald Trump is making it clear that jobs are going to Americans. We're going to hire American. We are going to put America first, and we're going to buy American.
I like it. I love that message, and I think that resonates so well with the American people.
So what took this town and the rest of the country and corporate America, and by the way, there is considerable irony that we are coming to you tonight
Chamber of Commerce,
from the roof of the Chamber of Commerce, the leading lobby for multinationals and corporate America.
Well, look, I believe in trade. I believe in, you know, the benefits of international trade, but I also do believe that we should put America first. Every decision we make should be, the metric should be, how is this going to affect the middle class, working class American? And that's not something that we've thought about for the last 15 years. And so you have to get back. Look, the capitalist free market system isn't going to advance if people keep falling behind further and further. I believe when Trump will be judged 4 years from now, whether he can bring prosperity and development back to those areas that have not felt the prosperity of the last
He is the only candidate who has talked with passion and confidence and with assurance about infrastructure, about the bridges that are decaying, that the infrastructure that is eroding around this country. Whether you're talking about airports, you're talking about highways, you name the infrastructure, this country's in trouble. And if he is the only person who could speak to it and connect with the American people.
You know what's exciting to me about this is, I was thinking when you were talking about infrastructure, Donald Trump literally in the next 24, 48, 72 hours could start signing executive actions, getting infrastructure projects started all over this country. I mean, the obvious example is the Keystone XL pipeline. I mean, my gosh, this is a project that will, 10,000 people, middle-class union jobs, and Barack Obama held it up for 8 years. Why? Why would you deny America this project that we need? Why would you deny those people those jobs? But that's just one. There's 20 of those.
the issue for President Trump now, and is straightforwardly, he wants to hire American. He wants that money to go not to Mexican cement companies and Portuguese labor or whatever it might be. He wants to focus those projects on companies that will be hiring American, using American materials, and you know, there are limitations to that.
Now look,
but it's part of the change, and I'm confident he will do it.
Now here's where you and I differ a little bit.
Uh-oh.
No, look, I believe if he does the tax bill that I helped design for him, if he does the deregulation, if he promotes American energy, those kinds of things, these jobs are coming back. They're coming back to the United States. I do not believe we need to build, you know, walls of trade protectionism. Look, we do benefit from some imports. I know you're not, I'm not saying you do, but I'm saying the main way to get these jobs back is we can
You
make
name
America
one free trade agreement that is actually free trade, in which there are absolutely no barriers to trade for the United States.
I like what
Can you name one?
Well, look, I think on balance, you're going to disagree with me on this. I think on balance, NAFTA has worked out pretty well.
That's a different statement, but it's not responsive to what I asked, because the impediments to U.S. Exports are significant, and it's
but
not
you know what,
free trade.
Where I think you and I think we agree on trade. If we're going to have trade agreements, we should do them in a bilateral way between countries. This idea of having trade agreements among 20 countries or something like that, it just hasn't worked out.
It's preposterous, and it's the idea. By the way, Washington, this swamp has been operating on this premise for some time. If you can't solve a problem, enlarge it. That's why you hear every one of these morons who pretends to be a wonk or to have real policy knowledge and an absolute grip of reality.
You know what the American people...
But let me finish. Each one of them is enlarging in the problem, and they want to have a comprehensive solution. It's got to be comprehensive trade, comprehensive immigration, you name it. If you hear comprehensive, ladies and gentlemen, you've got somebody trying to run something at you.
American people can never understand why something called free trade have to have 3,000 pages, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look,
you and I know what the answer to that
exactly.
is. And that's because it's not free trade.
So
I love the principle. I love the goal.
We're going to get 4% growth for 5 years if Donald Trump pulls it off. And 4% growth, oh my gosh, that's the difference from going 20 miles an hour down the highway and 40. We're going to bring prosperity back to these. I'm so excited. I love that speech he gave today. If he can pull it off, if he gets the staff behind him and he gets the Congress behind him, which is a Republican Congress, you've got Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell, this is going to be a great period of prosperity. Okay?
Take it to the bank. It's a done deal. Steve Moore, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.